99,94.
Der Stoßschlitten startet in 2 Minuten. Und dann um 11.04 Uhr startet zweiter Lauf. Die schnellsten 20 vom ersten sind nochmals am Start. Demoranen 1, 11:30, klar. Auf grün. 1, 4. 30 Sekunden. Zehn Sekunden. Uli Becker-Wiedemann. Die Bahn ist frei.
Boah, du musst nicht schneller!
Am Start 37. Und dann Sonny Corner, start second heat in 5 minutes. Becker Wiedemann beim Horschuh vorbei. Bei Tree vorbei. Uli Becker Wiedemann.
Sunny Moritz. Finally, the clouds have scudded away and it is a beautiful blue sky day again in the Engadine Valley. We are ready for the second deciding heat, race 5 of the IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. This race should have been held 2 weeks ago, but because of mild weather conditions, it didn't. So, let's take a look at the action. Our top 3 in the first heat, an unusual combination, covered by just 1/10 of a second. In third place, Deborah Annan, the 22-year-old Swiss driver, came in the middle of the heat and produced some impressive speed on her way down the track. She lies a 10th off the lead, 800ths of a second off the lead, Brianna Walker. This is 800ths of a second over 1,770 metres. A very tight race indeed. She's just 200ths ahead of Annan, with more experience under her belt, a chance perhaps to take her second ever career win. Or a chance perhaps for Alana Myers-Taylor to take her first ever career win in Women's Monobob World Cup racing. She leads after the first of our 2 heats. And she had a beautiful, smooth, fast run down to establish yet another new track record. Well, the fastest start was Lisa Bucklitz, but she nearly crashed off Horseshoe and is 2/10 back in 4th place. Don't count her out. She can definitely drive up a storm. Linda Wyszewski, she's the big story in 5th place, ahead of Keisha Love, Kim Kilicki, Kaylee Humphries and Bianca Ribby, with Cynthia Appiah running out the top 10. Fast 20 go through. Sylvia Hoffman clinging on in 20th place, but the other 5 starters in our first heat do not go. Well, Alana Myers-Taylor having fun in the garage where everybody warms up with Katie Bile, Brianna Walker, and in the background Kim Kilicki, all going through their routines, ready to get started. Well, Alana, incredibly, although she leads here and although she has had World Cup medals in Monobob, has not won a World Cup race yet in Monobob. She's the Olympic silver medalist, of course, behind Kaylee Humphries from 2022. But missed the 23 season. 2 Austrians in the field. Katie Bile and Leah. Oh, there's Leah Hasselvanter. There's the big smile, as ever. She'll be delighted to make the cut again for the 2nd time. And Sylvia Hoffman will be first off. All 4 US sliders made it through. Hoffman in 20th place. And then Kaylee Humphries is in 8th place. Keisha Love is in 6th place. And Alana Myers-Taylor will be last to go, as she is our first heat leader.
Sylvia Hoffman, the track is clear.
There you go, you heard the track announcer say it. Chris Folk, the coach at the back, with Sylvia Hoffman. Sylvia, 3rd fastest starter, one of the newest drivers in the field. 2022 games, she was still on the back of a sled. And learning to drive over the last couple of seasons. This is her first in the full season in the World Cup. 5:72 new start record, 5:79 in the first heat.
700 schneller als im ersten Durchgang und wir haben eine neue Weltstartzeit.
It's a nice, quiet run down through the first couple of kinks and through wall. A little bit of sun now out. That will help the track speed up a little, at least initially. Whether it remains quick for our later runners remains very much to be seen. Heading down towards Horseshoe out of Nash and Dixon. Nice run so far, good height. Nice landing into Telephone. Nice through Shamrock, little tap onto Devil's Dyke, so many take that. Out of Nameless into Tree. Bridge. Leap that goes under the railway bridge perversely, and then out of Sachs. Nice run down into Martineau. Cleanly across the bottom into Portago. Is this a new track record? No, 1:11.40. 2/10 off the track record set by Alana in the first heat, but that's 62 hundredths quicker than her first heat. So some of that is the fact that she came out 3rd on a cold, frosty track in the first heat, and a lot of it is really adapting herself to today's conditions.
10 Sekunden.
Just a little meander there, right between kink 1 and kink 2. And here, going away through Nash and Dixon. And in the forest, just that little tap before Devil's Dyke. Came late off Shamrock. Forgot where the handles were. So Sylvia Hoffman leads. Leah Hasselvanter of Austria, 200ths of a second faster in the first of the 2 heats. Leah just 25, raced here in Europe Cup and Junior Worlds last year. Like Sylvia, was not in the World Cup race here last year. 5:99 the getaway, so she starts on the back foot compared to Sylvia Hoffman. And she's going to have to really drive up a storm to stay in front of the American slider. Little tap there into Snake 1 and 2. Little slide as she exits from Sunny, from Nash and Dixon. Watch the back of the sled as she gets into the forest. compared to where the front is going. From Shamrock to Devil's Dyke, she had a skid, and she does again. Back, not really following the front the way that she would like. You don't want to be steering both ends of the sled. 4/10 back, better speed than Sylvia Hoffmann by a whisker. Clean run down into Martineau, best speed of all, 129 kilometers an hour already. And across the line, 4400s back, 111.86.
Coach said get some screen
Well, she won't drop out of the top 20. Sylvia Hoffmann moves up. And Sylvia might move up a few, actually. So an improvement on that run of 1400s for Lea Hasselvanter. Not a bad looking run. Didn't have the improvement, though, that we saw from Sylvia Hoffmann. And of course, all of our athletes will be back for a second Monobob race this weekend, as well as women's bobsleigh. Viktoria Černánska of Slovakia next up. 23rd fastest start, came down in 18th place, tied with Lea Hasselvanter, or Lea tied her time. 6:14 the start, so a long way shy of the 5:72 start record of Sylvia Hoffmann. And that huge start velocity that Sylvia carried into the sled is really going to help preserve her lead for a long while, I feel. So we better get her a coat. It's not warm in the shadows in St. Moritz. Nice out of Nash and Dixon. Up to Horseshoe, needs good height, gets it. Tidy landing. Nice onto Devil's Dyke, slightly better speed than Sylvia Hoffmann. Gaps come down a fraction to 7/10 to 6/10, under 6/10, 110 kilometers an hour. Nice clean lines from the Youth Olympic silver medalist on this track in 2020. How far back? 3500s back, so ahead of Lea Hasselvanter. And Viktoria Černánska in second place. Sylvia Hoffmann holds the lead. So a bit more of an improvement. 2300s better than her first heat. So she slips a spot behind Sylvia Hoffmann, but I think quite a few are going to. Černánska steps through, loads nicely. Quietly into kink one. So important not to give the speed away there. Next up from China, Ying Qing. 16th fastest start for Ying. 27-year-old crashed out of the World Championships here in 2023. Finished in 8th place in last year's World Cup race, though. In and down. 5:95 start, 5:94 in the first heat. And so far, everybody keeping it nice and quiet. Oh, that's the curse of the commentator. Tiny little shuffle in the sled, and suddenly it's meandering all over the place. And those runners at the back going sideways, that's slowing her down. She's covering another vital metre or two on the way down the track as it meanders around. Little tap into Sunny. Oh, and she hits that bit of wall that sticks out just after Nash and Dixon as well. Empirically, not much wrong with the drive, but just getting all the unlucky breaks on the way down. Second best speed, closing to 2600s back, should be second at the line. Only had 900s in hand over Sylvia Hoffmann. This does not look like anything like as clean a run as the Americans. And comes in 2600s back. So 1:11.75 for Ying Qing. That's 200ths only quicker than Victoria Czernanska, so she adds that to the 700 she had over the Slovakian slider from Heat 1. So 900ths ahead of Czernanska, but 2600ths behind Sylvia Hoffmann. And look at that, the way the sled skids around early on. Pressure speed going away, and that little bit of wall sticking out. Got another chance to do it tomorrow morning. Katie Beil of Austria is next up, 5th of our 20 starters, Heat 2 of the first Monobob race of the weekend. Coach Wolfgang Stampfer yelling her off at the top. 587 getaway compared to 591 in the first heat. And so with a very slight advantage from the first heat still remaining as she sat down, but the greater speed of Sylvia Hoffmann has taken that away. This might be tight with Hoffmann. Katie Beil a little high through snake curves. Sliding out of Sunny. Again, like Leah Hasselvanter, back of the sled, not really following the front. Nicely out of Horseshoe into Telephone. 1100s up, better speed than Sylvia Hoffmann, 63.2 miles an hour. 111.2, 69.1. Still skating around in the forest. Not ideal, the setup. It's loose, it's fast, but it could be better. She will lead at the line. Yeah, by half a second, 1:11.06. $1,400 quicker than the fastest sled in the first heat, and she was 16th in Heat 1, and that was not the tidiest run from the sled. Good effort from Katie Beil. Again, slightly late height in Horseshoe, ideal. Gentle roll off the corner, no big steer. Just lets it find its own way down into Telephone. Little tap away in the forest. Not bad. Now let's see how much quicker we're going to get. 5 in, 15 to go here in St. Moritz. Race 5 of the IBSF Women's Monobob World Cup in St. Moritz. 5 down, Katie Beil leads. Next up, Melissa Lottholtz. She was in 15th place after the first of our 2 heats. 5:82 getaway, starts 500s quicker than Katie Beil. So her lead is now 800s. Now, she didn't have the best velocity. That's still Sylvia Hoffmann who has the fastest start. Nice through snake 1 and 2, 500s back. Sled looks a little more controlled than Katie Beil's slightly wayward tail. The speed is not there, and in the holding the height a little late. In the first heat, the speed sagged away in the Canadian sleds below the Horseshoe. Looks like the track conditions are warmer than they were expecting, maybe, and their runners not quite doing what they should have done. This is not going to be a run that Melissa Lottholtz looks back on favourably. Not huge mistakes, speed just not there. 6600s back, 1:11.75, barely any quicker than her 1:11.83 first heat. Neville Wright looking a little bit perplexed by that, and a little bit of applause from Lyndon Rush, but it wasn't a horrible drive. It wasn't 6/10 worse than Katie Beil's, but the sled's not holding speed low down. All right, little nudges away, but we've seen a lot of that. And there again, holding the height a little long in Shamrock, but the speed just wasn't coming from Melissa Lottholtz. Next up for Belgium is Kelly van Petegem. 1/10 of a second her advantage over our current leader, Beim. And she started just 700 slower than the Austrian in the first heat, so she'll need to find a little bit more pace as well. Yelled off by coach and brakewoman. 5:98 getaway. Exactly the same as she produced in the first heat. So slips into the red behind Beim. She's fast turning into quite a skillful driver here. Got a little early height in wall, but nice and clean down into Snake. Oh, taps into Snake 2, taps into Sunny. Same mistakes as she made in the first heat. Skids out of Sunny down to Nash and Dixon. Needs to keep it straight here, gets a double tap, which she didn't have in the first heat. It's not going to help her speed in the forest. Didn't have big height in Horseshoe either. Second best speed, but 3/10 back. She's going to slip a couple of spots here. A little bit of height in Bridge. Second best, top speed, 82 miles an hour. 82 miles an hour. Across the line for Kelly, 3/10 back in second, 1:11.46. A round of applause from coach Anne van Nieuwenhuis. Again, 30 hundreds, 3/10 exactly faster than her first heat. That's a decent improvement. Track has got a little quicker. She was out 18th of 25 sleds in the first heat, so it was probably about an hour ago. Track will have improved fractionally, but of course you've got to dial yourself into that. And those little mistakes, Snake 1 and 2 and into Sunny, and then gets the unfortunate snag on the wall down to Horseshoe. Melanie Hassler for Switzerland. Unaccustomed low position for her. 9th fastest start, 12th. Tied at the bottom with Lara Nolte. 5:84 getaway. And that's exactly what she did in the first heat as well. Ooh. Nearly clipped the wall on driver's left there out of King 2. 1400s over Beim early on, 1200s remains. Well, she outstarted by a whisker. Still living on her first heat advantage. She was 1100s up in the first heat. Oh, hits telephone. 2/10 up, second best speed behind Beim at that stage. Kelly van Petegem was fastest in the forest. Not any longer. Mel Hassler starting to extend the advantage again. It was 2/10 out of Horseshoe. She's building on that. Second best speed at the bottom. Should be a new track record. 1:10.91, so a 1:10 for the first time. Lots of Swiss jackets up there, the boys watching in the sunshine. It's double four-man weekend as well as double monobob weekend. She's still having problems finding the brakes there. She is. Either that or they're not working. The brake handles come up in front of the driver's seat, so they're right between your legs when you should pull the handle. She hurt as well. It was a nice looking drive. Little late out of Horseshoe. Yeah, I thought she was limping after the first heat. Is she limping again? Oh, it's her back. Not again. She's racing tomorrow morning and Sunday morning, and so too is Lara Nolte now. Nolte was doubled up almost at the end of the first run. Looked like she was about to puke. Now, she may well be struggling. There's an awful lot of coldy fluishness going around, and while you and I can take stuff for it, athletes can't. It's like aspirin, and that's your lot. None of the heavy pharmaceuticals that we can take to try and knock it on the head. A 10th up. Well, she didn't start badly. 5:79, started 5:80 in the first heat. But when your head is absolutely full, and especially at altitude, you know, focusing on those hundredths of a second is tough, and she gets a double tap to horseshoe, hits the wood. A 10th up, but only the 4th best speed. Is she going to stay in front of Mel Hasler? They were tied to the 100th in the first heat. They might yet be tied. The gap's down to 400ths. Hasler was quick here. 3rd best speed for Lauren Alter. This could be another dead heat at the line. Where is she? 500ths back. So Melly Hasler in the lead. There's Rennie Spies with Gert Leopold on the right. I mistook the hat. That is not Matthias Höpfner down there. That is the man mountain that is Kevin Kuska. Well, whatever's up with Lauren Alter, wish her feeling a lot better before tomorrow. Okay, that wasn't the tidiest run out of Nash and Dixon down to horseshoe. Got in on the wrong side. Jury's out on whether she hit the woodwork or not. She'll know. Yeah, don't hug me too tight. Oh dear, there's a few Halton lame in amongst that group. Next up, Margot Bock for France. 11th place, 100th out of the top 10 in the first of our 2 heats. Margot Bock finished 14th here last year. Best result this season is a 9th place finish in Sigulda. 6:02 start. Started 6:03 in the first heat, and she can definitely outdrive her start. Look at the way she's leaning around the sled. Now, she is quite a short athlete, and so when she sits in the sled and has to sit further back and lean back to try and get the weight over the back axle, then she really is very low down. The good news is that actually you're often looking around the sled into corners anyway. So once you get through Snake, it's less of an issue. 6 on the splits, not big height in horseshoe. Oh, and taps into Shamrock. Oh, this is not good. 2nd best speed. I'm sure she was hoping to move up into the top 10, but this run is going entirely the other way. She's going to drop behind Hasler and Nolter and Catty Bile, and possibly behind Kelly van Petegem as well. Is she 4th or 5th at the line? 4th, but only the 6th fastest run. Mel Hasler's going to need some ice stroke heat on that back soon. And Margot Bock slips down to 4th place. Well, she was 14th last year. She's 4th with 10 to go. The first heat was a big improvement, definitely. The second went all the wrong way. Telephone to Shamrock, late off telephone, drove it into the wall before Shamrock, hit onto Devil's Dyke, late off there into Nameless. Yeah, all the wrong lines. 10 down, 10 to go here in St. Moritz. Mel has the leads from Lauren Alter and Catty Bile. Margot Bock finished, or didn't finish ahead of Kelly van Petegem. Didn't finish behind her either. Finished tied to the 100th with the Belgian slider. I did say in the first heat that Margot Bock is no longer the sole French representative in World Cup bobsledding, because Roman Heinrich is back. Retired 2 years ago after Beijing, but having seen in the summer that there's Lauren Alter, not looking 100%, I have to say. The 2030 World Championship, Olympics rather, will be held in La Plagne, his hometown, his home track. He has come back. Now he's going to be 40 then, and saying, so, you know, I may not be competing, or I'm, you know, trying to bring the program on. 40? We'll have older athletes than 40 in Milan Cortina in women's bobsleigh, never mind men's bob. Victoria Chinanska enjoying a bit of the St. Moritz sunshine. It is a beautiful day now that the overnight cloud has gone. The overnight cloud is what has really kept the temperature from disappearing into the atmosphere. Normally the overnight low at this time of year will be -18, -20 on a clear night, and most of them are clear nights. But the overnight low last night barely down to -8, and the high today will be positive. So as long as it stays clear, track should be cold and hard tomorrow. And there's our race leader. Just saw a quick view of bits of the Cresta run, which run down the valley alongside the bobsleigh course. The Cresta sliders created their own track about a century ago when they fell out with the bobsleigh club, but they still share the valley, and the Cresta run still has a lot of its century-old heritage, same as this track does. 10 down, 10 to go. Race 5 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup, with our current leader Melly Hasler at the bottom for Switzerland, Cynthia Appiah of Canada. 4th fastest starters, but 10th in the first heat. Like teammate Melissa Lottholz, losing speed, it seemed, all the way down, and not in the usual manner, hitting the sled off stuff. So 5:77 start, 5:72 from Sylvia Hoffman, a new start record. First sled out is still the fastest getaway, and may remain that until about our pre-anti-penultimate sled. It's a thing. 600s up, but she was 1400s up, and at a horseshoe she's going to be in the red. She is 200s back. I mean, decent horseshoe, nice lines here, getting on and off the corners nicely. Where's the speed? Second best. Well, it's better than it looked in the first heat. Maybe the track is more suitable for the runner choices that they had, but I'm not sure she's got enough in the bank. No, she doesn't, I think. Not going to catch Melly Hasler. Lauren Alter's 500s back. It is third at the line. 1:11.02. I should think Lauren Alter is heading back to the hotel for some warm honey and lemon and getting back under the duvet, maybe with a hot water bottle. She did not look healthy. Cynthia is, but I think, like Melissa Lottholz, and to a degree as well like Bianca Ribby, I'm not sure that the track conditions are what the Canadians were expecting when they made their runner choices yesterday. Oh, it's a pretty decent looking drive. She shakes her head as well.
Come on, Ribby.
So, what about Ribby? Bianca Ribby, 100 quicker than Cynthia Appiah. Neville right at the back, in the white hat, Lyndon Rush. Neville helping with the starts, Lyndon with the driver coaching as well. 5:88 getaway, 5:92 in the first heat, so that's a handy improvement. Every 100th counts. 7th fastest start, 4th best velocity. That is a good load and a good kink one from Bianca Ribby. Nice little height in snake, not too much of a height in snake one. Ooh, little tap into Nash and Dixon. That's it, just to the right of centre into horseshoe. Good height and a nice telephone. Late onto Shamrock, taps into Devil's Dyke. Trying not to steer telephone to Shamrock, but didn't really work. Got the tap instead. 6th best speed, but the speed is dropping away again. Was 5th best speed, now 6th best speed. And she's slipping out of the lead and out of the top 2 or 3. Appiah is 600s back in 3rd, and Bianca is in 4th behind her, only 300s ahead of Catty Bile. Well, 4900s better than her first heat, but Bianca Ribby was 6800s better and moves ahead of her teammate. I beg your pardon, the other way round. Cynthia Appiah was better than Bianca Ribby. So Bianca slips back. So Hasler leads, Nolta second, and Appia third ahead of Ribby. Second of our US sleds as we get into the top 8. Kaylee Humphries, 17th fastest starter, 8th at the finish line. Give another couple of 100 meters of ice, or some more corners, maybe. And she will be out driving that start even more impressively. So 5.92 compared to 5.95. 6th best velocity off the 8th best start. Again, the American driver really knows how to load a sled. First heat advantage over Mel Hasler was 1300ths. All of that has gone. Hasler outstarted her. Little tap, Nash to Dixon. Oh, just a tiny tap up to Horseshoe. Sounded pretty quiet into Telephone. Clean from Shamrock to Devil's Dyke, back into the green. Best speed from Kaylee Humphries. 69.5 miles an hour, nearly 70 in the forest. We're down over 82 miles an hour, 82.4 miles an hour for Kaylee Humphries. The leader at the line, and a new track record.
I'll take the track record. Yeah.
So Kaylee Humphries leads. And her teammate Sylvia Hoffman currently in 9th place, so Sylvia picked up 4 spots in the first heat. Kaylee not entirely overjoyed with that, out of Nash and Dixon, getting a little tap between the two, or out of Sunny into Nash, and then a tap into Dixon as well, and that sent her out down the straight, just the tiniest of taps on the wall. But she has the lead with 7 to go, and the gaps at the moment are tiny. Only 300ths quicker was Germany's Kim Kalicki, and if Kaylee's not happy with her 5.95, Kim only starts 600ths quicker, and she didn't have a baby last summer. 5.86 to get away, so 300ths quicker than her first heat, same as Kaylee Humphries, so she keeps that initial advantage, and 900ths ahead of Humphries. Faster start builds that advantage early on. Two tenths up down to Sunny. Nice and quiet, avoids the taps that Humphries had, and that's going to help her. Decent height in Horseshoe, nice exit. Best speed of all. Little tap in the forest, but 63 miles an hour now. 69.4, just a whisker off the fastest speed. Oh, little meander out of Sachs, but avoided the wall. She will have the lead. It should be a new track record for Kim Kalicki. 1:10.66. 1:10.66, 1:11.2 was the fastest run in the first heat. Well, good height from Kim Kalicki. And a nice roll-off into Telephone. Got on maybe a whisker early, as long as it was smooth. Well, she looks like she's slightly healthier than Laura Nolta. Next up, Keisha Love. top 6 run in the first heat off a 4th fastest start. Silver medalist last week in Innsbruck. Already a 2-time winner. Look how she gets into the sled like silk. 5.73 start. 5.80 in the first heat. A 0.07 of a second improvement. 2,500 up on Kim Kalicki. Now Kalicki, a more experienced driver. Little tap there into snake 1. Gap will come down. Should still be in the teens as she comes out of Nash and Dixon. Good height. Nice into Telephone and Shamrock. Second best speed behind Kalicki. Kaylee Humphries was fastest through the forest. Quicker still than Humphries. She's extending her advantage. Oh, double tap though. And another one. Should still have enough for a new track record and a top 6 finish. The lead for Keisha Love. Yes, 1:10.60. Like kids in a candy shop, aren't they, those coaches? And the brake women down at the bottom, really happy with that one as well. Well, Keisha, not the cleanest run. Gave away speed with some of these taps. And again, tap going in to Gunter Sachs and a tap coming out as well. But a new track record, 5 to go. Keisha Love, the leader, from Kim Kalicki and Kaylee Humphries. In the top 5 for Poland, Linda Wajszewski. 11th fastest at the start. Her starts, personally, are improving, definitely. And the starts in the women's bob, really improving. And a top 5 drive. Let's see if she can put another one together. Sandra Kyriasis with the air raid siren. 5.85. So she started 5.87 in the first heat. Keep it straight, keep it straight. All right, so starts 1,200 slower than Keisha Love. Had 100th in hand. Oh, and a tap there as well into snake 1 and 2. Can't afford any more mistakes. Little tap out of Sunny into Nash and Dixon. Is she a little tight? Feeling the stress of trying to cling on to a top 5 result. Oh, big hits in the forest between Telephone and Shamrock and Devil's Dyke. It's robbing her of vital speed. She's got to keep it clean all the way down here. It could still be, should still be a top 10 run. Her first ever top 10 finish, potentially, for Linda Wajszewski. Is she in the top 10? She is. Only the 12th best run, but it is a best ever result in the monobob for Linda Wajszewski. 11th fastest starter. She will be no worse than 9th. Her first ever top 10 result. The coach really ought to look a little bit more happy with that. She was 12th here last year. Her best result this season has been a 15th place finish, 13th last year, and that is her first ever top 10 in the World Cup. There is more to come from that woman. Okay, 4 to go. Here's Lisa Buchwitz, winner of the last 3 straight World Cup outings in monobob. 5.71, another new start record. You just can't stop her. 5.75 in the first heat, 5.71. It's not about beating Keisha Love, it's about beating the 3 remaining sleds. Silver medalist in Altenburg, winner in Sigulda, Winterberg and Eagles. Not huge height still in Horseshoe, but clean onto Telephone and Shamrock and Devil's Dyke. Out of Nameless, down to Tree. 800's up, only the third best speed. How much is she going to have left? Needs good speed here, hasn't got great speed. This could be very close. With Keisha Love, it's behind. Keisha Love leads with 3 to go. Well, Lisa Buchwitz very unhappy with her first run. That was better. That was not SH1T, she was saying there, for those of you that didn't quite get the German. Well, this, yeah, it's better than her exit off Horseshoe in the first heat, but the low height means a flat parabola. It means you carry that height further around the corner and roll off. She needs more height, and then she can steer it down better. Well, another day tomorrow. Now then, 3 to go. Big time opportunity for Deborah Annen of Switzerland. The junior world champion on this track last February. Third after the first of our 2 heats. Her 6th World Cup. Best result, 4th place in Winterberg. Lots of chatter from the Swiss at the top. 5:85, 400s quicker than her first heat. So 500s up on Keisha Love becomes a 300th of a second deficit. She had 1700s in hand, but started 1200 slower than the current race leader. Now she's reversing that deficit. If she's in the green on the way down to Horseshoe, here she is, she's tied at Horseshoe. Good height from the Swiss. Nice into Telephone, nice onto Devil's Dyke. 4th best speed, maybe working a little hard for it. Keisha Love was flying, 3rd best speed. This is going to be very close. Keisha Love and Deborah Annen for the medals. Annen needs good speed, not sure it's quite good enough. Could be to the 100th of a second. Is she in front or not? No, she's 300s back. Keisha Love's in the medals. There's her dad, there's Martin Annen. 2 to go. Deborah Annen is 300s off the lead in 3rd. Lisa Buchwitz 200s off the lead in 2nd. Keisha Love's leads with 2 to go. Good height.
10 seconds.
And a nice exit. Good stuff from Deborah Annen. And the Swiss, her best result has been a 4th, so she might not quite get that today. 2 to go. What about Brianna Walker? Bronze medalist here last year. 2 bronze medals, a 5th and a 4th so far this season. Winner in Lake Placid at the end of last year. 5:78. Found another 300s at the start. As she's only starting 700s of a second slower, 800s a second slower than Keisha Love. No, I was right the first time, 500 slower. I'm adding, not subtracting. In the green, but a little tap coming down to Horseshoe. Good height. Lands it nicely, 2600s up. Hits the wall pretty hard in Devil's Dyke. 2600s, 2400s, but the speed's going away. This is about trying to take her 2nd ever Monobob World Cup win, her first outside North America. best speed at the bottom. New track record for Brianna Walker and the lead with 1 to go. 1:10.48.
Nice.
Is that enough for gold? Is that enough for gold?
Tense, Bill.
Big, big run. 1:11.28 to 1:10.48. The lead over Keisha Love is 3/10, but the improvement 0.8 of a second. That is massive from Brianna Walker. If that's not gold, then that's because Alana Myers-Taylor has gone somewhere very special in the next minute and 10 seconds. First heat leader looking for her 20th World Cup medal in all disciplines, still looking for her first ever World Cup monobob win. 5:77 getaway, adds 100th to her 800ths from the first heat. But now she has to be absolutely flawless. Nice. Down to Sunny. She adds another 100th or two to the advantage from the first heat. Just avoids that bit of wall sticking out. Decent height in horseshoe. Clean onto telephone. Late onto Shamrock. Slides onto Devil's Dyke. Top speed. 1500s up. She's going to need a new track record. 2/10 up. Best speed of all for Alana. Clean into Gunter Sachs. Clean down to Martineau. Third best speed, it's going to be enough. It is going to be a new track record and her first ever Monobob World Cup gold medal. 1:10.32. Alana Myers-Taylor wins for the first time in the Monobob World Cup. That is World Cup medal number 20 and her first mono win. Comes at one of the most special tracks on the planet for everybody, but also for her. The place where her husband Nick proposed to her in the World Championships a decade ago. Not the only American slider, by the way, Nick Taylor, to have proposed to his fiancée in St. Moritz, because it happened again yesterday. Well, there, hugs from her teammates. A first win in monobob for Alana Myers-Taylor. The Olympic silver medalist finally gets a World Cup gold. She needed to go to the special draw, and she went there. Excellent stuff from Alana Myers-Taylor. Smooth, flowing style, and she just keeps that speed alive all the way down. And fourth fastest start.
Love you, Nick. Love you, Nico. Love you, Noah. Love you, Mom and Dad.
Now, when she came back from maternity leave at the beginning of last season, she was not the fourth fastest starter. So Kaylee Humphries, who's out there starting, what is she now? Still 15th best start. That's what she's seeing. She's seeing Alana right in there swinging with all the fit young women who are 10 years, 15 years younger than they are in some cases. And she knows she'll be back at the start. But it's Alana Myers-Taylor, Brianna Walker and Keisha Love on the podium, ahead of Lisa Buchwitz, Deborah Annan and Kim Kalicki. And a top 10, 13th place finish in the end for Linda Wyszewski. Slightly disappointing for her not to finish in that top 10, but a great first heat. But Alana Myers-Taylor, she went to that special place that winners find. Found the speed, and handle the extra speed in the faster track as well. Great run from Alana to claim her first ever World Cup gold in mono. And alongside her, two women who have both won before she did. Brianna Walker won in Lake Placid. Keisha Love, twice a winner last season. Won for the first time in her career in La Plagne last 2 winters ago. So Lisa Buchwitz is the points leader from Brianna Walker, who overhauls Lauren Alter. Keisha Love, Kim Kilicki. Keisha has overhauled Kim Kilicki as well. Suddenly the Germans are starting to slip a little in the standings. Well, don't expect that to continue all the time. Nobody's going to be ill forever. And they certainly have plenty of talent in the team. And welcome to the World Cup as well to Nigeria's Simi Adiagbo. First World Cup start for her outside of skeleton. Well, that is it for the Monobob for this morning. Tomorrow morning we'll be back at 0900, a little earlier than today, 0800 GMT, and that is 0300 Eastern for the Monobob World Cup. And then 4-man in the afternoon. Until then, from everybody in St. Moritz, Martin Haven saying thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.
Love you, Nick. Love you, Nico. Love you, Noah.
Okay, here we go. So Alana Myers-Taylor, congratulations to your first ever World Cup win in Monobob. How does it feel?
It feels great. I love St. Moritz, so I couldn't have asked for a better place to get it in. This place holds so many special memories, and hopefully one day I'll be back here driving taxi bobs.
You had some really good results earlier this season, so did that give you a lot of confidence for this race?
Yeah, I had a lot of confidence. I had some good training runs here, and I had some pretty terrible ones, but I had confidence. I know I can drive. I just got to get my push back, and I knew I'd be able to compete, and today the push was there.
Yeah. So it's a special weekend because it's also a double race, so this gives you a lot of expectations for tomorrow.
Yeah, but you still have to take it one run at a time, one curve at a time, and just go for it because the girls are so good. Like the competition in Monobob has stepped up so tremendously. So many people can be on top of the podium at any given day, so there's never an easy race here.
So winning a race, that's special, but this place also holds a lot of really, really fun memories for you.
Yeah, so it's the anniversary of me and Nick getting engaged on the podium here in 2013. So yes, what is that, 12 years ago? So it's our engagement spot, and congratulations to Charlie Volkler and his new fiance on their engagement as well. It's a great spot to get engaged. If anybody's thinking of popping the question, do it this weekend.
Good. St. Moritz holds a lot of very good memories for you, so congratulations, and hopefully to see you tomorrow on the podium also.
Thanks, yeah, we're going to give it our all tomorrow and see what happens.